Here's how to reinforce a real taxidermy tail that I got from the Renaissance fair so that when you do things like jumps or running or it gets caught under you, it's less likely to break. Like a bingus, I was unaware that I had to do this, and I've broken many of my real tails in the past, but I just glue them back together. But thanks to some random guy at the Renaissance fair, I've gotten this knowledge on how to preserve them for much longer. In every real tail, there's going to be a seam down the middle of the skin from when it was taxidermied, and you're going to try to find that in the middle of your tail. And there's going to be things like sawdust and fur in it from when it was manufactured, but you're just going to blow all of that out. I sped this part up a bit because it's just me finding the entire seam. Now, I really don't like working with fabric glue because it's really sticky and hard to, deal with, which is why I would recommend doing this with two people. So eventually I just took off the cap because it takes forever to come out, and I stuck a pencil in there to get it out. This pencil's no longer usable, just get something you don't care if it gets ruined, and stick it in there to get some more glue out at a time. And you put it in the seam where the skin is, and you just press down. It's really frustrating when you have no one else to hold open the tail with you, so I suggest you do this with help. But you press it down in there. Here is where I get my shoelace, and I press the top of it down into the glue. And it will move around, but that's okay because it's not exactly enclosed around it yet. And it's going to just sit there, and eventually, once you do it all the way down the tail, your tail will feel a little bit heavier and it will not be as floppy, but it's not at risk of breaking super quickly. The reason you want fabric glue over every other glue is because the fabric glue will keep the movement of your tail, and if it were hot glue or super glue, it would make it more stiff and not flow as much as it needs to. Here's what it should look like by the end, all the way down the tail, and here's what it looks like after I fluff up the fur. Anyway, I had to speed this up a lot because it was mainly fighting with fur and fabric glue and shoelaces, but the results are pretty good, and I would say you'd need a second person to do this just to hold the tail open. But this is what it should look like, and pretty good, and this is how it came out. Pretty good.